Hi, I'm Dave Lopez, founder and managing member of ILG Financial.
And I'm Chase Lopez, advisor at ILG Financial, and this is another episode of Retire Your Way with ILG Financial, where we talk all things retirement planning. All right, so before we get started, Dave, I just want to let the folks know that are watching, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see any of our future videos or be alerted of any of those future videos.
Thank you, Chase. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to dive right in. We always talk about diving right in. We're diving right in today on these retirement complaints that we hear day in and day out.
Sure.
Right? And I will say, they're well-founded. These are great questions. They're great concerns to have. So we're going to kind of jump right into them. One at a time, we'll just hit them. Maybe I'll ask one and you answer it, and then you can ask me one, and we'll go through them together.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So the first one is, let me read it down here. My advisor takes too much risk. How would you address that?
Yeah, and unfortunately, to your original point, Dave, we get this a lot from clients, right? And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first is you want to ask yourself, does your advisor know your specific goals and your specific needs? So for example, are you going to need this money for income in retirement? Are you going to need it for healthcare costs? Is this money that's going to be passed on to your heirs? All of these questions need to be asked and answered by your advisor. And that's how you can determine, or how you all as a team can determine what your risk tolerance is. And unfortunately, a lot of folks with their investments are very much so in autopilot, right? They set it one way and it just continues that way. And the advisor doesn't do anything until they get a call from you, right? So you want to make sure that you're constantly reevaluating your risk depending on where you are in life and what those goals are.
Yeah, and I'll go another point on that. A lot of times, not enough time is spent by the advisor on articulating the risk.
That's right.
It's very theoretical. If I said I can take a 27% risk tolerance,
that's right.
What in the world does that mean?
Right.
Wouldn't you rather have someone say, look, if we have another '08 type economic correction,
that's right,
your account will go down about $39,000 or $390,000.
Right.
Okay, that's going to give the average client, the average person, an idea of how much risk they can take. That's kind of how we talk about it. So you want to, if you think they're taking too much risk, you want to get back with your financial advisor and press them. Say, let's talk about the risk.
Right.
It's not too much risk. It's just a different risk than you're willing to take.
And it's oftentimes too late to address that once something's happened, right? That you want to have these conversations prior to something like that happening. All right, let's go to number 2 here, Dave. I'm going to shoot this one your way.
Okay.
A complaint from a lot of folks with their financial advisor is, my fees are too high.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I would say there's another way to kind of look at that. And this has nothing to do with our industry. This would be anything, even if you went to a restaurant.
Sure.
It's not about the fee being high. It's about what you're really saying is, I'm not getting enough value for the price I'm paying. If you're getting enough value, then the fee is low.
Right.
So you really want to think about, what am I getting for the money? So it starts with you being clear of what your fee is, and then you're going to be clear of what services you're getting. And I will give you a kind of a litmus test, right, where we are today, because the financial world has changed with respect to advising. The average fee on average is right around 1%. And that's whether you're using a bunch of mutual funds that are managed heavily inside the mutual fund, or if you're using an advisor who manages your funds, but they're not using the mutual funds, so they save that, but they're getting the fee. About 1% is a pretty good average. Right? If for 1%, all you're getting is someone helping you decide how much to have in different investments, you probably are paying too much. Right? You should be getting a lot more for your money. Right? For example, when we work with our clients, we're not only doing that, getting the right risk tolerance and spending a lot of time, to your earlier question, spending a lot of time on real risk. What is your real risk tolerance? And that takes time together, not a 5-minute phone call. But we're also talking about what the money is going to be used for, which requires us to do income planning and tax efficient tax planning and estimates on future tax implications and inflation hedge issues. We've got to have all of that together to get a good picture of how we want to invest the money. All of that is done at no extra fee other than that, for example, if it was a 1% fee, the 1% fee.
Right. And I think to piggyback on your point, Dave, and going back to our last question as well, really the biggest thing here is transparency, right? You want to have these transparent, these concrete conversations with your advisor and say, hey, I'm paying 1%. What, Mr. Advisor, what exactly am I getting for that? And they should be able to articulate that in very plain English, what you as the client are receiving for that fee of service, basically.
Yeah, and on the investment side, Chase,
Mm-hmm.
The fee is not high if they're doing something in a strategy
That's right.
that you can't do
Right.
or don't want to do. You
That's
may
right.
not have time to dig through all the data that our advisory team is doing to make a decision as to whether we should increase your exposure to U.S. equities versus foreign equities.
That's a great point.
If you want that done
Right.
and you don't have the resources or the time to do it, then the fee might be well worth it. Just like if you want a good steak and you don't want to cook it, you'll pay extra to go to the, I'm not going to give any steak, I'm not going to do an advertisement for any steakhouse, a steakhouse, right? Outback, call us if you want to get a drop on this.
Yeah, that's, or to your point, you don't want to do it, right?
That's right. If you're paying no fee because you don't want to pay a fee and you're proud that you're doing very minimal exchange traded funds with little to no fee, but you're not really managing it appropriately and there's more risk than you think because you're not haven't done the research and aren't tracking it, then as soon as you have a 30 or 40% loss, if you had been in a strategy that was a better fit for you that was managed that only lost 15 or 20, you may have lost 30 years of fees.
That's right.
Just by not managing it. So it's all relative. And the answer is transparency. Be very clear what you're paying and what you're getting for, and then decide if you want it.